welcome to Helsinki in Finland. The International Skating Union descends upon this amazing city for the 6th and the final stop of the ISU Grand Prix Series 2025. A city that has hosted so many wonderful skating events, and a city and a country where ice sports are such a huge part of the culture. Normally it is ice hockey, which is the most popular of the sports, and it is indeed an ice hockey hall that we find ourselves in for HIFK Hockey. The Helsinki Ice Hall has one of the top league Finnish ice hockey teams, but for the next 2 days it is home to some of the world's very best figure skaters. This venue has also hosted concerts by the likes of Tina Turner, Frank Sinatra, Bon Jovi, Guns N' Roses and AC/DC, and you will hear music from a whole host of different performers as the backdrop to some phenomenal skating at this event. We've seen already an incredibly closely contested pairs short program, and now we look ahead to the men's short program event. And as we saw in the pairs event, this season just seems to be even more exhilarating than ever. And this event particularly exciting as we find out which of the skaters will qualify for the Grand Prix final in Nagoya, Japan in 2 weeks' time. The first six, the first half of the event in the starting order for this men's short program, with the home skater Valtter Virtanen opening proceedings. What a wonderful and inspiring man he is as we look ahead to the final 6 skaters, with Yuma Kagiyama and Siao Him Fa going head-to-head as the final 2 competitors. They are in a fairly safe and comfortable position in regards to qualification for the Grand Prix final. They need just 5th or 6th place here to secure enough points to book a ticket to the top 6 men on the Grand Prix Series this year, going up against one another in Japan. As we look ahead now to the judges, the referee, and shortly we will see the technical panel on screen. But as was the case in the pairs, and as is the case in the other disciplines as well, this event doesn't just dictate who will qualify for the final, but also gives us a greater understanding of the landscape of the competitive field in the men's event in this Olympic year. And for many of the skaters competing, they have their eyes on the greatest participation of all in a sporting event, the Olympic Games in Milano Cortina. In just a matter of weeks' time, the countdown is speeding up at an alarming pace. And many of the skaters that are here have booked and secured their participation, but for others, they still await confirmation as to whether or not they will be one of the skaters lucky enough to call themselves an Olympian, awaiting that confirmation from their respective governing bodies. The allocated slots at the Olympics for the nation have been decided, that based on the World Championships in Boston last season, and then the Skate to Milano Olympic qualifier in Beijing 2 months ago. But now each of the respective governing bodies will decide which of their athletes takes the ticket. As we see an exciting and exhilarating montage of shots before the skaters are welcomed into the arena at the Helsinki Ice Hall. And as we look ahead to the introduction of the men's competition, we confirm those front runners on the series thus far. Ilya Malinin undoubtedly leads the field. The world champion has posted scores that are just sensational and vastly ahead of the other competitors. And he has booked his ticket for the final alongside Shun Sato and Mikhail Shaidorov, with 3 more spots to be decided, and they will be decided by tomorrow. But we will get an indication of what is to come over the next 90 minutes as the men's short program gets underway.
Helsinki, are you ready?
Well, this is the 17th Finlandia trophy for this man, Valtter Virtanen, the skating doctor. An amazing story for the 38-year-old. And then to a man born 17 years later, Andreas Nordback, the Swedish representative. And then to the first of two Canadian men, Stephen Gogolev, the youngest in this competition. And then to America's Jimmy Ma. And then a slightly belated happy birthday to Estonia's Mihhail Selevko, who turned 23 yesterday.
From Canada, Sadovsky.
And to the second of the two Canadian men, Roman Sadovsky.
Skaters, you have 6 minutes for your warm-up.
And so the 6-minute warm-up is underway as we start the final men's event on the Grand Prix series. And it's just a sensational story for the first competitor. Here at this event, by the fortune of being in a home Grand Prix, Valtter Virtanen. He has been competing at this event 17 times. It's just sensational. As many skating fans know, he also a qualified doctor, practicing doctor, who takes private patients in and around his international travels as a competitive skater, coached by his wife. He also a father to their daughter Leah, and indeed, recently he competed at the Volvo Cup in Riga, Latvia, in an event that also had a competition for his daughter, who is now competing. Their daughter Leah, just 4 years old now, following in the footsteps of her parents. As we look ahead to Andreas Nordback. And Andreas, a likely Olympian. That hasn't been confirmed 100%. The Swedish Olympic Association have some criteria. They ideally want a top 10 world score for immediate qualification, but there are some exceptions for a skater or an Olympian aspiring in their first Olympics to showcase the opportunity to learn and grow. As we look ahead to another Olympics discussion, Stephen Gogolev, he and Roman Sadovsky both want to be the Canadian representative in Italy next February. And they continually go up against one another, head-to-head at competitions.
Canadian skater coming from Toronto. His hobbies are cars, mountain biking,
both
surfing,
from Ontario, both from Toronto. Stephen from a competitive family. Parents were gymnasts and a mother was a figure skater as well. As we look to Jimmy Ma, and in terms of other sports, Jimmy's been boxing over the past couple of seasons, somewhat recreationally as a workout for his skating. And he trading an education in boxing with lessons for his boxing coach's children. And Jimmy was saying that this off-ice pursuit has been helping him both physically and mentally, and he'll be hoping for success at this event greater than that which he achieved at the NHK Trophy. He was 10th at that event and struggling a little bit there with the quad toe. As we look to Mihhail Selevko, the Estonian, and some will recognize the name Selevko because his brother Alexander was already on the Grand Prix. His brother was second at Skate Canada in Saskatoon. And he and Alexander, alongside another Estonian, Arlet Levandi, are in the conversation for Estonian representation at the Games. how complex it must be for his parents to watch to see who will come out on top as we look to Roman Sadovsky. He competed in Beijing at the last Olympic Games. He was 29th there. 3 times a World Championship competitor. And he's been looking strong in practice. And looking comfortable there too for Roman with the triple axel.
Roman is a part-time coach and a videographer. You also have to check him on his YouTube channel. Sadovsky wanted to learn how to skate in order to play.
Roman has been so popular with skating fans, so many recognizing some of the wonderful skating skills quality that he possesses. And this season, coming into some of his best form, indeed he won the Cranberry Cup. It was very early on in the season, one of the first events of the season, and that was his first senior international win, having had success as a junior as well internationally. As we see Alina Mihhail Virtanen and her husband Valtter Virtanen, they were explaining that the collaboration as coach and spouse, a challenging one. Valtter often trying to fit in more work in between competitions. His wife suggesting that he should be working less to be able to devote more time to his training, but he arguing that he needs to work to fund the travels that they have competing around the globe internationally. And just a snapshot into the final minutes and seconds of this warm-up, indicating some of the stresses that the skaters are having. Down below me, I can see some popped jumping passes, so not quadruple jumps, triples and doubles happening as opposed to the desired quads. But of course, it's not what happens on this 6-minute warm-up that counts, but entirely down to what the skaters can showcase in front of the judges during the almost 3 minutes that will define their success in the short program. Well, that's a passionate fist pump and slap in the back from Alina to Valtter Virtanen.
First to skate from Finland.
And great support to be expected in Finland for the Finnish skater. But Valtter Virtanen is respected globally. The skating doctor changing his short program, going back to a piece he used 3 seasons ago. Planned triple toe, cleanly done. Challenges with the triple lutz. Valtter Virtanen, the 38-year-old, opens the men's short program at the Finlandia Trophy 2025. And having returned to a different short program, he started the season with a different piece, black belt. This, a piece he has used 3 seasons ago, and I think one that definitely showcases his skating skills better to me, and a great piece working with choreographer Ekaterina Evleva. He does not have the technical difficulty that we will see from others. And for Valtter, a big part of every international competition now is about trying to secure the minimum score required to participate at the World Championships again. He needs 109 points, technically, in both the short program and the free skate to be able to guarantee participation at the World Championships again, and the Worlds next year in Prague. Czechia, a place he wants to return to. As we look back at the triple toe. And that comes in with a positive grade of execution, largely in part to that beautiful landing position. However, here the triple lutz just slipping on takeoff, off axis in the air, and thus it comes in as an under-rotated jump. And Valtter using double axel. Great depth of edge on the right back outside edge there. And Valtter explaining that repeatedly he is asked, why does he continue when he is a father now, when he's a qualified and practicing doctor? Why does he continue? As we see that difficult blade feature in the sit spin. And he akined it to a famous hockey player that is asked the same question. And it's great to see the inspiration that he provides others. And he and his wife, Alina, supporting a whole next generation of skaters. Not just as skaters, but as humans as well, as they support the likes of Kirilo Marzak, who is now a part of their family, as well as a part of their skating school. 61.92 for Valtter Virtanen.
He has earned in the short program 61.92 total points.
Seuraavana jäällä Ruotsista.
Next to skate from Sweden, Andreas
And now to
Nordback.
the second competitor who represents Sweden, Andreas Nordback. And Andreas, like many athletes, keeping a previous program, the short program from last season. And he explained not many changes, but some jump layout changes as he prepares to skate to Personal Jesus by Depeche Mode. An intended quadruple toe turns into a double. Hand down on the triple axel. The best of his 3 jumping passes. Triple lutz, triple toe loop. change of edge in the sit forward as part of the combo spin. Sweden's Andreas Nordback completes what's probably a frustrating, well, it's definitely a frustrating short program for Andreas. The opening quad toe turning into a double gives him no value whatsoever. It's a mandatory triple jump that's necessary for the senior men, or quad jump, and that double gives him nothing. And just for context, a quad toe, which was the intended plan, is worth 9.5 points at base value. So you're knocking nearly 10 points off the score for this 21-year-old from Stockholm. And that's the reason that he departs the ice looking forlorn. That said, he's got a great vehicle, unique choice by Depeche Mode, and he inhabits the character well. Choreography by the master choreographer David Wilson. So that will claw back some points in terms of the composition score for the second mark for Andreas. This was fun. Opening here, left forward outside 3 turn into the quad, but popping into a double, and at that point so difficult then for the athlete, knowing that they have just really impacted their chances of success at this event very adversely. Has to touch down with his right hand, and that too will claw away on that technical score. But this was good. Triple Lutz. And good height and distance on the second part of the combination. Important for the skater to be able to showcase equality in the 2 jumps as a combo, as we see that great speed maintained on the sit forward as he changes edge. Into the finished position. Coaches Melanie Joseph and Christina Batien.
The scores.
Andreas Nordback on saanut lyhytoilmasta 67.
As Andreas secures 67.93 points.
He has earned the short program 67.
Very little reaction as we look ahead to him hopefully delivering a stronger free skate and what is yet to come tomorrow for the Swede.
Seuraavana jäällä Kanadasta.
On the ice, representing Canada.
And now to the youngest skater in the competition, 20-year-old Steven Gogolev. His short program, choreographed by Benoit Richaud, is meant to inhabit the character of a smooth-talking gangster. And the music specially arranged for him, Muggsy's Move Medley. The first quad jump of the event, quad toe, triple toe for Steven.
Well, there's this thing you ought to know. See, it's a little something made of cats to keep your heads low. See the lots of sore gangsters.
Followed up with quad salco.
So you learn my 2 steps, see out of their way, out of the way, baby.
difficult entry into a clean triple axel.
No one cares. Just a fiend, just a liar. $18 short, a $20 bag. The hustle is dead.
Oh, that a really convincing and confident skate from the Canadian Steven Gogolev. And he laid down solid technical with the 2 quadruple jumps and the clean triple axel, all packaged in to the concept of the heist. The idea that he's in 1920s New York, smoke, jazz, and danger, and that he was a smooth-talking gangster stepping into a bank. And from everything to that story, alongside the music arranged for him with a choreography by Benoit, giving program component score boost to what has been the strength of a tech score as well.
See, it's a little something made of cats to keep your heads low.
And here, this him walking into the bank and now stepping into the opening combination. Quadruple toe loop, followed up with this triple toe, and over 14 points securely achieved. And backed up with this quad salto, and that adds another near 11 points to a score that could be competitive in this event. Of course, it's still relatively early in the competition, but Steven absolutely doing his job, as we saw those back outside traveling 3 turns into the triple axel. We'll see more speed and flow from some of the other competitors, but what's so crucial and vital is that Steven laid down the clean skate.
No one cares. Just a fiend, just a liar.
And as Benoit Rizzo, his coach and choreographer, sits with him in the kiss and cry. Now, he achieved 90 points. He crossed that threshold en route to winning the Nebelhorn Trophy on the Challenger Series. And he falls just short of that on this occasion. Perhaps a little disappointed, but job done. And as I say, early in the event, so it remains to be seen with 9 more competitors how that will fare for the first of the 2 Canadian men.
Next to skate from United States of America, Yuma Kagiyama.
And now to the American Jimmy Ma. He competed in Japan at the NHK Trophy, and he's been training in Japan this season, taking himself out of a place of comfort away from his normal training environment as he gets ready to skate to excerpts from the Firebird Suite. Jimmy struggled with the quad toe in warm-up. That will be the first element now. And another fall. but lands the triple axel. Squeezes out a jump combination of triple lutz, triple toe. America's Jimmy Ma just taking stock of what took place in his short program. Such a multi-layered and interesting music choice, which he performs to perfectly well in regards to the changes of energy within it. But it's just got a little less conviction when the most valuable technical element is unsuccessful, and that was the case, unfortunately, for Jimmy on the opening quad toe. But he does have an ability to engage an audience, and even in practice yesterday, the sparse crowd here were so invested and engaged in Jimmy Ma when he showcased his free skate to come tomorrow. Here, the planned quad toe. Unlike Nordback from Sweden, at least Jimmy has the value of the attempt. Landing the triple axel. This is so challenging for the skaters because they all are so acutely aware of the value of each of these elements. This, the triple lutz, triple toe. You can see the fight on Jimmy Ma coming to a complete standstill there, which will affect the grade of execution before stepping into the step sequence, which was wonderfully on point musically in place. But just doesn't have the same kind of conviction that a clean skate before it would have offered. Good to see him smiling though, alongside his coach. And as mentioned, it's such a fun free skate that Jimmy has. One that we do not want to miss, but how much ground will he have to cover with the score of this short program? At the NHK trophy, he had 69.44. And sadly, shy of that too. 67.99. You can see the deduction, the mandatory 1 point deduction for the fall. But he does move in to second of the 4 competitors at this stage. Well, the next skater, Mihhail Selevko, was born in Tallinn, that his hometown, and that such a short distance from the Helsinki Ice Hall where he competes now at the Finlandia Trophy. He turned 23 yesterday. Mihhail Selevko just thrashing out some of the adrenaline in his legs as he prepares to skate to the sounds of nightmares. Triple flip, triple toe. Followed up with a quadruple toe loop. And a wonderful spread eagle entry into the triple axel. A strong skate from the Estonian Mihhail Selevko. And really interesting insight to this character. He designs his own costumes, and that is a bold statement, and choreographically bold statement as well. Having the bravery to eyeball the judges with some intensity throughout that performance to a unique choice, the sounds of nightmares. And when it comes now to the judges scoring for the presentation, how did they believe he has been invested in this concept? And to me, unique, brave, bold, but delivered with conviction as Mihhail heads to Arena Kanonova. That, an emphatic statement of a start position. So not as difficult a combination as the leader, Steven Gogolev, triple flip, triple toe, and did well because off axis, but manages to pull back a nice landing position as we look at his solitary quad jump, the quadruple toe loop. And immediately upon landing, stepping back into some performance ability to this unique music. And there, I believe it is his brother who has created that difficult blade feature, the use of the heel, which is now used as a level enhancement across the disciplines. As we see that spread eagle into triple axel, followed by a right back outside counter. And again, all these slow motion pieces of the program showcase the intensity. You can just see they're missing the twizzle, right forward outside twizzle, not callable as a difficult turn within the step sequence, and his step sequence comes in at level 3. Interestingly, when we saw Mihhail at the Grand Prix de France, he fell on the step sequence there, so maybe a little bit of more work needs to be going into that element for this Estonian skater. He made the top group after the short program at the Grand Prix de France, the first stage of the 6 on the Grand Prix series, posting an 80-point score there. But it's more than that on this occasion, 84.18 as a solid score for Selevko, going underneath the 2-quad performance short program from Stephen, with 1 skater left to go in this group. And that performance responsibility lies to Roman Sadovsky, the 26-year-old from Toronto. And he has an ardent number of fans here supporting him in Helsinki, performing to Cold by Chris Stapleton. So much speed into a landed quadsalco.
I thought we had so good, never really saw this coming.
Followed up with the triple axel.
Oh, why you got to be so cold? Why you got to go and cut me like a knife? Put our love on ice. Oh,
And does well without much speed on the landing of the triple loose to land the triple toe as well. But there, Canadian team leader and his coach just perhaps looking at what is happening from the technical panel for Canada's Roman Sadovsky. And it's just a really interesting comparison between this skater from Toronto and the leader also from Toronto, Steven Gogolev. This performance by Roman Sadovsky has a lower base value. He does not include the 2 quadruple jumps, and currently the technical panel here are looking at 5 of the elements. 5 of the 7 elements are under review, and that will, well, have an impact on the technical element score dependent upon what they decide when they look back at the elements in slow motion. And in terms of performance and the judges' component scores, the second mark, such differences in style between the 2 Canadians. This has been wonderful in practice and pretty solid here too. The quad salto a little tight on the landing compared to what I've seen in practice, but still cleanly done. Although actually, technical panel giving it a Q. I might have given a Q to that triple axel, but that's gone in the system as clean. But they put another Q mark, so deeming that a quarter rotation short on that triple lutz. And so the impact of that by the technical panel upon review makes a negative grade of execution for both of those elements, the quad salto and the combo of lutz and toe loop. Which is a shame for Roman, especially because of the intensity of the competition between the 2 Canadian men. There is only 1 spot for Canadian men at the Olympic Games, and Roman has already experienced what it's like to be an Olympian when he competed in Beijing. Wants to do it again as his coach Tracy Wainman joins him. Tracy started coaching him when he was 8 years old. What a wonderful athlete she has helped to create as he speedily removes the skates, presumably a cramp happening in the feet of Roman.
A discussion.
Oh. I think Roman just acknowledging that discussions will be happening on the tech panel, and that they were his initial input of score before the reviews of the technical panel was up in the 86-point range. And now it comes in at 82.91. Disappointing for Roman in what was a clean skate, but he will get the feedback from the technical panel. And now he has a bit of work to do if he is to become the top-ranked Canadian man after the free skate tomorrow. It's been a really good start with the top 3 performers in the men's short program going pretty clean as we head towards the second and final group at the Finlandia Trophy 2025. As the incredibly popular Latvian Deniss Vasiljevs takes to the ice. Deniss followed by Sota Yamamoto, the first of 2 Japanese men. And talking about popular skaters, arguably one of the most popular across all disciplines, Jason Brown. And then to Italy's Matteo Rizzo, a 3-time European Championship medalist. And then to a former European champion, Siao Him Fa. And then to the reigning Olympic silver medalist, Japan's Yuma Kagiyama. Well, a fascinating lineup in this men's short program. Some real wonderful performers, and as I mentioned, some incredibly popular fan favorites. And they're undoubtedly one of them. Now 26, Deniss Vasiljevs in his 11th senior season. This is a skater who has competed in every European and World Championships since 2016. And he well versed in being able to acknowledge the audience as he's introduced to the Helsinki Ice Hall. He hasn't had optimal preparation here without a coach, but very impressive wally jumps to warm up, and so much speed and flow from Deniss. And then to Japan's Sota Yamamoto, who was 4th here at the Finlandia Trophy last year. He was 9th in his first Grand Prix assignment this season at the Cup of China, but he had been struggling with a back injury this season, which forced him to spend a lot of time in treatment. However, Sota had explained that the preparation for this event has been better, so hoping to climb back to some of his greatest success in Helsinki. As we cast our eyes upon Jason Brown from the United States of America. Jason, such a wonderful ambassador for skating, and indeed an ambassador for charity as well. He's an ambassador for the Ronald McDonald House Foundation, and his goal this season is to visit 26 sites supporting that children's charity. And I believe Jason has made time to visit a site here as well. Such a great human as well as great skater, and he one of the most artistic skaters on the planet, really. As we look now to Italy's Matteo Rizzo. He already a 2-time Olympian. And this event for Matteo, not just about pride and result, but also about the scores that are 3 Italian men really vying for 2 Olympic spots. And Matteo's chances of repeating again to represent his nation at the Olympic Games is dependent on international scores, as the Italian Federation gives the criteria for those men. As we look at Adam Siao Him Fa, now fascinating but a little frightening for Adam this week. His boots broke down completely at the beginning of this week. He started with 2 different skates on Monday, then new skates completely on Tuesday. So the preparation for Adam far from optimal, but can still manage in brand new skates to land quad toe, triple toe, and the triple axel. And fascinating that in practice, he is seems so smiley, jovial, and happy here, despite the stress that most would feel with having to ordeal breaking in new skates in a competition week. As we look now to the favourite for this competition, 4 times a world medalist, Yuma Kagiyama. And in terms of preparation this week, a skater who came out to Finland early. He arrived last Sunday, earlier than the rest of the Japanese team, in his pursuit of acclimatizing to the time zone and this environment. Yuma really keen to achieve a 300-point total score across the short and the free skate. He is one of only 6 men ever to do that. He just an absolute master of the blade. And in this field, across the 6 Grand Prix events that have taken place this year, this group of men, the top ranked 6 of the 12 in this field, some of the most artistically mindful, as we see quad loops looking comfortable from Adam. So be prepared to be entertained, not just technically with the feats on the planned program content for these skaters, 7 elements in the short program, but also by the consideration behind the composition of their programs. Judges will reward each of the skaters in composition, which is much to do with the choreography and the presentation And then finally, the skating skills, the skater's fundamental command of the blade, the way in which they glide across the ice with the edges that they have. And I actually think that the best skating skills in the world are possessed by the final competitor in this group, Yuma Kagiyama. Such wondrous flow, glide, and edge set. So the warm-up now over, and the ice made clear for Deniss Vasiljevs, the Latvian skater. Deniss has his own blog, and he's posted just last week acknowledging some of the challenges that he's had in the past few months, and even a slight injury last week. But he did say in that blog post he's managing to keep it intact. And this, his short program, is to be a love story about his journey in skating, and he described it as a tribute to all of those who have supported him, including his fans. And the track for that fan tribute is the Unchained Melody by Roy Orbison. Deniss opens with triple flip.
Lonely rivers flow to the sea, to the sea, to the open.
And he follows that up with a triple lutz, triple toe, just a little question mark over the rotation on the second jump. Beautiful camel spin.
Wait for me, I'll be coming home.
Oh, not sure if he achieved 6 rotations on the second part of the camel spin. Lands the triple axel, which has been problematic in practice. Oh no! Ah, what a shame. Yeah. Well, given the challenges that he has faced in preparation for this event, Deniss was en route to a pretty solid performance. So frustrating to have then had that stumble into the last element, and you can see the shock on his face that of all the issues that he may have had in practice struggling with the jumping passes, that it is a toe-pick trip that will mar this short program performance to the Unchained Melody. But you can hear and see the support for this skater. He is incredibly popular. He has, as I say, competed in every European and World Championships since 2016, and in each of those ISU Championship events that he has taken part in, he has amassed a greater and greater fan group. And that's the reason that he has dedicated this short program to them. His appreciation for the support he has is the reason he says he continues to compete. As we look back at the triple flip, and that one of 6 out of the 7 elements that was under review in the technical panel, just putting a debate over the edge of the takeoff. There's no doubt on the edge takeoff of that lovely triple Lutz. However, here, oh, the camera just cuts it short a little bit, but the technical panel had deemed him a quarter rotation short on the landing of the second part of the jump combo. And I have not seen many landed triple axels from Deniss, unfortunately, in practice. But when it counted, he nailed it. And unfortunately, even upon the review of the technical panel, it's gone in as clean. And here, this part of the reason he's so popular, such a wonderfully open posture in performance. But hopefully we're not going to see what I think we are. Yeah, we are. Nah, we don't want to see that. Somehow manages to style out a back shoot the dark as a consequence of that trip. And so we see his trademark sit behind feature to close out the flying sit spin. As Deniss sits solo in the kiss and cry, hopefully mindful of the rousing support that you can hear from him in this arena. So, although not picture perfect, this better than the Cup of China performance that Deniss delivered earlier in the Grand Prix. Don't think he's too bothered about the scores though. This, a triumph of a skate based on how he came into this competition. It's 75.45. And Deniss Vasiljevs from Latvia accepts that, and the 4th place at this stage of the competition. And now to Sota Yamamoto, the 25-year-old Japanese skater, is bringing back an old program, and he said he wants to express his life through it. He has scored over 100 points with this program domestically, and how he would love to achieve that at the Finlandia Trophy in 2025. 4th year last year, hoping for a podium. Skating to Yesterday by Michael Bolton.
Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away.
A comfortable and clean quad toe, triple toe to open.
Here to stay. Oh, I believe in yesterday. Suddenly, I'm not half the man I used to be.
Just a triple salco, not the intended quadruple.
Hanging over me. Oh, yesterday came suddenly. Why she had to go, I don't know. She wouldn't say. I said,
Oh, stepping out of the triple axel as well.
now I long for yesterday.
Nice reverse back Choctaw. Japan's Sota Yamamoto, he was so solid in practice earlier today. And as I say, he felt like his training leading up to Finlandia Trophy had been more successful. The injury that plagued him through the summer seemed to be more at bay, and he had sufficient training to deliver at this event. But of course, no matter what's happening in practice, it's a completely different feeling when the pressure is on in competition. And so Sota Yamamoto will be disappointed and frustrated that he wasn't able to deliver the 2 quadruple jumps. And he has been quite vocal about the desire to make the Japanese Olympic team. And he wanted to use this event for Japanese nationals. But the making of a Japanese Olympic team so intense. As we see, I think he's bleeding from his hand, presumably from one of the spin features. Literally drawing blood for his craft as he tries to push some big scores to impress the Japanese Federation and the judges here. This was great. An ease of landing on the first quad toe into the triple toe. And a huge grade of execution boost based on that quality. But here, it's just 3 rotations. And that is 4.3 points for triple salto as opposed to the 9.7 that he is so capable of. And so many quadruple saltos in practice this morning, he would have loved to substitute and place in front of the judges in that short program. And then the frustrations continue for Sota with the step out of the triple axel. So I'd spoken about his desire to use this program from before to score over 100 points, but unfortunately the mistakes made today make that impossible. How far adrift of the front leaders at this point will he be? 81.09. It's 4th place for Sota Yamamoto. But ever respectful and gratitude shown. As we look now to America's Jason Brown, returning to the river dance short program that made him a viral sensation so many years ago. Other competitors this season have returned to old programs under less favorable reviews, but this was a masterpiece that garnered so much respect and attention, and Jason feeling very responsible to revive this classic with even greater skating. Gorgeous back counter into the spiral, preparing for an effortless triple flip. This morning in practice, Jason doubled the next element. He needs triple axel now. And he gets it. Maybe a little shy of rotation. Does the combo of triple lutz and triple toe. Tracy Wilson applauds the artist that is Jason Brown, competing in back-to-back Grand Prix events. Last week he was in Lake Placid at Skate America. This a better performance than 7 days ago. And this program, just a magnificent example of the artist that he is. The step sequence coming in at a level 3, that is under review, but the musicality, the way in which Jason embodies the music so perfectly is what has made him such a popular skater on the circuit. His musicality, his performance ability, but also the wonderfully positive human that he is. He just oozes a sense of joy and jollity. And there, and Tracy Wilson, his coach, and asked recently who was his inspiration. Jason cited Tracy as his inspiration. Less base value than others, no quadruple jumps, and this was problematic and has been a little problematic. Long size up of a triple axel, and it does get a Q mark, so it will have a negative grade of execution. But any problems last week in Lake Placid on the jump combo rectified here with a clean triple lutz, clean triple toe. Tracy, so invested in her student, so supportive. And many in our sport, the fans of the sport, talking about the sadness of seeing some athletes acknowledge their retirement from competition, with the likes of Kaori Sakamoto, the world women's champion of before, staking her acknowledgement of retirement. Not sure exactly if this is see him go, because he just brings such enjoyment to every event. So it's 87.66, season's best for Jason, as he slots into second, courtesy of the lesser technical score, but certainly the leader in terms of the program component scores.
Next to skate from Italy, Matteo Rizzo.
And now to Italy's Matteo Rizzo. He vying for success here too, as Matteo prepares to skate to the track Silver Lines by David Demiano.
sorrow. The calm after the storm, and peace.
Such a brave choice of choreography, leaving the first jumping pass so much later than almost everybody else would ever do.
Until my tears
Totally off axis there for the quad toe.
and clouds fall from the sky, and all my fears they disappear, and I see silver light.
No problems with the triple toe.
A darkness forgotten, and peace belongs to me. Look at those light rays, no dark days anymore. Look in the light, ain't no zombies in the mood. Don't need no battles, ain't trying to stand no war. 'Cause peace belongs to
Italy's Matteo Rizzo completes his short program, and he went for the quad toe. He had opened out and popped the quad toe when he competed in Japan at the NHK Trophy. He committed on this occasion, but unfortunately the fall drags the technical element score down. He had done some wonderful quads in practice earlier, but unable to produce when it counted. However, it did manage the triple-triple, which he didn't do in Osaka, Japan, earlier on this month. And it's so integrally important for Matteo to achieve good scores here. The Italian Federation taking into consideration international scores, and then their national two men will compete in front of a home audience at the Olympic Games. Here's the quad toe, off axis, and uncomfortable as he takes the fall there. Managing, however, to do triple toe. He was going for a loop combo in Osaka, does the toe loop, which has less base value, but success where he had a triple double at the last Grand Prix, so progress made on that regard. And not his best triple axel, but job done. And interesting for Matteo as a seasoned competitor to see him exploring different concepts choreographically. As I say, he leaves any jumping pass till beyond 30 seconds of choreography have passed, and that's so unique. And great to see him playing with different concepts in terms of the composition, and hopefully that'll play into the judges' consideration on the composition score. Some uniqueness in the element placement. Coach Debra Sacchi and his father Valtter Rizzo.
Thank you, Kitos.
The scores.
thanks in English and Finnish.
Matteo Rizzo on saanut lyhyohjelmastaan 78,75.
So 78.75. It is better than Osaka, but the lack of clean quad finds Matteo in 6th place, with the 2 highest ranked skaters left to compete their short program. So as I mentioned in warm-up, it's been far from ideal, the preparation for Adam. Siao Him Fa, boots breaking down completely at the start of the week. 2 different skates on Monday, then new skates on Tuesday. Now, Friday in Finlandia Trophy in Finland for the Frenchman. The short program, the first chapter of a story told in 2 parts, inspired by the boundless mind of Leonardo da Vinci. Lovely quadruple loops to open the program for Adam. Followed up with the triple axel. Manages to squeeze a double toe loop onto the back of the quadruple toe loop. Well, a stellar skate for Adam Siao Him Fa, made all the more remarkable given the equipment challenges that he has had this week. And Adam Siao Him Fa is somewhat notorious for having ground to make up after disappointing short programs, but that not the case with this performance. Not perfect, would have liked quad triple, comes away with quad double. But the quad lutz to open the program, the most valuable element of any that we've seen thus far, was delivered wonderfully. And the commitment to the composition, just amazing. And the uniqueness of body movement evident. Wonderful outside edge. And look at the pace, the commitment. And again, steely focus on the landing of that triple axel, followed up with the reverse Ina Bauer transitional exit. And here, quad toe. And he had to have a combination, so was working all sorts of body movement to make sure that a double toe was evident. And this short program, when debuted earlier on in the season, somewhat splits opinion, costume splits opinion for Adam among the skating fans. But what he offers is unique, and it is somewhat creative. And as I say, the body movement behind the choreography is so often off axis, somewhat a trademark of his choreographer Benoit Richaud. And that collaboration now, multiple seasons, allows Adam to give so much more conviction to that body movement. It was electric commitment in the step sequence as he awaits his score. So a 92. 6.5 points higher than his season's best as he moves into the lead. And now to Yuma Kagiyama. Yuma's father, Masakazu Kagiyama, loves jazz music, and Yuma grew up listening and skating to jazz music, so Yuma requested something jazzy or upbeat, and that the reason and rationale behind this choice. A figure skating remix to Stevie Wonder track, I Wish. As the 22-year-old from Yokohama starts his campaign to make the Grand Prix final. Perfectly pitched to the music. Quad toe, triple toe. Oh, painful, difficult fall on the Salchow. Stepping out two from the triple axel. Wonderful musical nuances picked up by the movement in this step sequence. Japan's Yuma Kagiyama. Now in this event, the men's short program at the Finlandia Trophy, we've had fairly clean skates from probably the top 5 men at this point in the competition. Unfortunately, we cannot say the same for Yuma Kagiyama. He is the best skater in this event, fundamentally, from a skating skills perspective and in so many areas, but unfortunately not able to produce a score that is reflective of that quality. And now Yuma's goal for Helsinki, as Karolina Kostner meets him off the ice, his goal was to cross the 300-point total over the short program in the free skate, and unfortunately he's now made that more difficult because of the mistake on that quad salcho. Here though, no such problem with the quad toe and the triple toe. Just has the best knee and ankle action, such spongy knees on landings, but the takeoff was, weight was outside and actually a quarter rotation short, at least on that salcho. Bit better here with the camel spin. The camel spin was problematic for Yuma when he competed in his first Grand Prix. Hopefully though, for Yuma, he will continue to give the more relaxed energy that he seems to embody this season. Stepping at the triple axel here. He's been a little more vocal about feeling less stress and pressure, and certainly this short program gives him that. This short program to the track I Wish. Now Stevie Wonder described it as a longing for the innocence of childhood, and embrace that concept of innocence to childhood, tying in with his father's love for jazz, so a little bit full circle in his music and choreography choice for this Olympic season. So it is only 88 points for the Japanese skater and only 3rd place. But he certainly has the capabilities to claw that back with a free skate to come. Adam Siao Him Fa, despite the boot problems that he's had this week, leads the field ahead of a great skate for Steven Gogolev. Important for him to be the top-ranked Canadian man at this event, as we see the scores of those lower in the standings. And we find ourselves now at the halfway point on day 1 of the Finlandia Trophy in Helsinki, Finland. Some brilliant performances. Not so brilliant on this day for Yuma Kagiyama, but his quality still very evident. As the skater from Yokohama completes his short program, there the mistake on the triple axel, forcing the judge's hand to give a negative grade of execution. But his free skate is an absolute masterpiece. And hopefully he can channel any frustration from the short program into making that even more resplendent here. As we see Steven Gogolev, indeed, he the cleanest of the competitors in regards to planned program content, delivering everything he intended, including this quadruple salcho en route to a 2nd place result for the youngest competitor in the men's event. What a thrill for him to find himself in 2nd place. But it is Adam Siao Him Fa from France who leads the field. Such a captivating skater and captivating performer. And he comes out with the best program component scores by 100ths of a point over Yuma Kagiyama. Actually, Jason Brown leads the field on program component scores, unsurprisingly, he in 4th place. So a great start to day 1 of Finlandia Trophy. Make sure you join us for the women's short program, which is coming up shortly.